Hi, and welcome to Photography Tuesday, a very special time of the week where I focus on one quick tip, you learn something new, and then go on with your day. Let's dive in. Today we're talking about ISO, your camera's sensitivity to light. This setting is your camera's secret weapon in tricky light situations. Same as the aperture and the shutter speed, the other two sides of the exposure triangle, the ISO has an effect and a counter effect. The effect that actually makes our lives way easier is that it just brightens our photos. No chance of blur due to slow shutter speed, no extra depth of field due to extra open on the aperture. The counter effect is that by raising the ISO of your camera to take brighter images, you start adding digital noise into your photos, which up to a certain point is fine, but after that point, that photo starts looking dirty. And that's why raising the ISO usually is the last option. In modern cameras like the Canon EOS R6 Mark II, which is what I use, I can still use ISO something like 3200 and I still have a usable image. In previous cameras that I had, like my last one, which was the 90D, the image would look dirty, it wouldn't be sharp, it would just be not a pleasant image. So also, since the Lightroom release of the AI denoise, I feel far more confident in using higher ISOs, because I know I have a decent AI denoise tool. For food photography, if I am taking photos on constant light, which is not as powerful as my flash, I will be working on around 1600 to 3200 of ISO, so I can have my aperture at around 8 to 11 and get everything nice and sharp. If I try to freeze motion using constant light, then I have to boost that ISO maybe up to 6400 so I can lower my shutter speed to 1/500 of a second. Then you ask me, what's the solution not to use such a high level of ISO? More light. Just get more light in there. Either constant light, or if you can afford a flash, use a flash. Another solution, you can put the camera in the tripod and take photos on a lower shutter speed without shaking due to the tripod. And finally, you can try to go close to a window, use a little bit of the natural light coming from outside, but that's very hard to control. I know I may have scared you with the ISO, and I really don't like shooting on high ISOs, but I'll tell you something, I'd rather shooting a photo on a high ISO than a blur photo due to a slow shutter speed. I can always work with noise, but if there's one thing that I can't do, is to unshake that photo of that special moment. So remember, in the end, the ISO is your friend. So that's about it. Next week we're talking about manual mode, taking full control of your camera. I'll see you then.